I am the Red Cyclone! Ah!
Hello, we are live, and welcome to another episode. Oh man! All right, it's gonna be a good one. Welcome to another episode of the It Is Better Right Square podcast. This is for the week of 1/28/18.
Yeah,
I'm your host Louis Beans, and I'm here with Merc with the mic.
And yes, I am Merc with the mic.
All right, we got a few things going on this week. We're gonna do part 3 of our MCU. The Verdict.
Yeah, buddy.
This week is Captain America.
I love Captain America.
He's one of my, if not my favorite. After the way they portrayed him in the movies, he might be my favorite Marvel hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. After Winter Soldier.
I always had like a love for Captain America. Like natural love for Captain America, just because what he stands for. He stands for everybody in America, not just like he stands for the little guy.
He's like what you would think of almost Hulk Hogan having been. It's like a giant, larger than life character that stands for, what the old American values.
Yeah.
I don't know about now, but the old American values. So we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty with that, and we're also gonna talk Monster Hunter World because I picked that up, and we're gonna talk some Dragon Ball Z Fighters. We're gonna talk some Dragon Ball Fighters Z.
That's actually the name. I always rename it Dragon Ball Z Fighters.
But because Merc has he has his copy, and he's going through the story mode right now, which you can catch on Merc with the Mic on YouTube.
And
I know. Oh, nice, awesome. So we're gonna talk those two things exclusively because they came out the 26th, I believe. That was Friday, right?
Yeah, buddy.
All right. So first up, Captain America. And so, what are your thoughts initially?
Okay, so Captain America. I say out of the first MCU movies that we watched, this one was the most like hit at home thing because I have a lot of love for Captain America. He's probably one of my favorite Marvel characters, especially after 2000. They started writing him really, really, really good.
Gotcha.
That's when they introduced like Winter Soldier and stuff.
Do you have a favorite Cap writer, or is it too hard to remember? Because sometimes it's like that.
He's the one that started the Winter Soldier. I forgot his name.
Okay, all right.
But he wrote Winter Soldier. He wrote the debut of Winter Soldier and stuff like that. He's probably one of the best Captain America writers that came on. And basically, the movies all came from a lot of his scripts, a lot of his comics and stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
So he was one of my favorite writers. I'll look up the name. If I can't find the name, it'll be in the links.
Okay, cool.
But he was one of my favorite writers. He did the Winter Soldier. He made Captain America more of a standout character and have a lot more heart, a lot more inside things with him. And then he's another character, like he didn't judge nobody for what they are. He never judged. Like he's one of the few people that treated Deadpool like equal and never treated him like for the freak he is.
Oh, that's
so if you ever read in Deadpool, the only character that Deadpool actually has full respect for, that he will watch what he says in front of him, is Captain America.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because he was the only one that ever treated him like a regular person. He never treated him like a freak. He never treated him like a villain. He understood what he did for what he did, but when he was there, like he's trying to help now, kind of thing.
Is that around the time when Deadpool joined the Avengers, or is that just...
That was a little before it. That was they did a first team up back in the day and everything like that. But the MCU Captain America was actually something I was really excited about. Casting wise, Chris Evans as Captain America, I actually was very okay with this.
Yeah, I didn't have the apprehension towards it. I was just confused. I thought there was a rule.
Yeah, there's no rule.
Okay.
The unwritten rule of Marvel Galaxy.
Well, it's well known that Chris Evans was in fact Human Torch.
Yeah.
Was it two? He was in both movies, right? Both Fantastic Four movies. Yeah. So he was Human Torch for 2 movies before moving on to Captain America.
Which he was one of the best parts of the movie as well. So.
Especially the first movie. It was the second movie with the racing with Silver Surfer and stuff. I really like that.
Yeah, he became the Super Skrull.
Yeah. Essentially, right?
Yeah.
So, tell me your thoughts about the beginning of the movie. I want to say like the first act. That's up to the point where he gets the powers. So that's the near emaciated Steve Rogers. He's waiting to be called for his evaluation for the army.
It shows the sad things that he went through because he was a smaller guy, but he has so much heart and so much determination to make it happen.
They also go out of their way to make sure that you understand that he does not like bullies.
Yeah, because he was bullied. He was bullied through the whole movie and stuff like that. If you see in the beginning of the movie, he's a scrawny Chris Evans, which was hilarious, but worked perfectly for the movie as well.
Very, very faithful to the story. So
this shows Marvel's advance in CGI with this thing.
Yeah, that information after he comes out, that is ridiculous.
Yeah,
to see what they did. So yeah.
But showing that he was the underdog, he was always like kicked out of everything. He was not good enough for the army. He was not good enough for everything. But he didn't believe that he wasn't, and he kept trying to go. He will try every single test he could do to try to get in, and so he got in.
And he also they show his connection with Bucky very early on too.
Yeah,
where Bucky saves him from getting his ass. Well, not saves him from, but he helps him out after he gets his ass whooped in the alley.
Yeah.
Which, he was doing, like I said, he was standing up to a person being an asshole in the theater, which I don't know if anybody will do that nowadays because you don't know what they're packing, but, So he only got an ass whooped.
It really showed like the growing up of Captain America and when and why he was tested and stuff like that, because the guy that created the Super Soldier Serum picked him because of his character, picked his because of his heart. And the last thing he said before he died was, never change, be yourself. And that was something that I think he took to the heart, and that's the reason why you got the Captain America you are having today.
And
I thought
coincidentally, that character's death is what I would say wraps up the first act or so of the movie. Okay. Oh, let me duck the fire trucks. What's going on outside now?
But going into those movies, this one was probably, I just had more of wanting to see it because of Captain America. I did like it. It was a different piece story. So it was supposedly filmed like during 1942, during World War II. They were fighting the Nazis and stuff like that, and Captain America was a big part of it. I liked the building that they just made him like the spokesman of the war. And they had him doing like show and dance when he first got his powers. So he was just a bigger thing. But he wasn't even being used to fight. He was just being used to show like he's the super soldier. And that was it.
Yeah, but he was also, I guess you kind of need those. And I believe that guy worked for the government. I believe he insinuated that this was his way in because he got rejected even when he was put in as a, experiment. Because the commander played by Tommy Lee Jones, he didn't accept him at first.
Yeah,
and so he was basically just a sideshow. But the guy said, by becoming the face of the American war, you can be a hero a different way. And like you see him desperately trying to make that work, which is cool. Yeah,
and then you got a bunch of people got captured, and this was the first kind of Captain America-ish thing he has done. He wanted to go save those troops.
And Bucky was confirmed. Is it confirmed that those were the Howling Commandos?
Yes, they were the Howling Commandos.
Okay.
This also introduced another side character, which was Howard Stark. You also saw the first appearance of the Agent Carter.
Agent Carter. Also
he lined up. Yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna say also the first appearance of the Hot Rod Red paint that Iron Man took.
Yeah.
That was one thing I didn't really notice before. I noticed it now. It was like the color that he levitated. That's the exact color that Iron Man took from his pops. So I thought that was cool.
You just made me realize that. Yeah, that was cool. Also, Agent Carter, which lined up having her own series after this. This was like a prequel series to after Captain America died. Supposedly died, and then you also had They also had the Howling Commandos take place in that series as well. They were in the series.
Okay, were they fleshed out completely in Agent Carter?
Not most of them were there, but they weren't killed or anything. They were just there.
Okay.
But also, one of the Howling Commandos lines up being the principal of Spider-Man's school in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Which one was that?
The Asian guy.
Really? No, is it?
Yeah.
Continuity?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
He has a picture of the platoon.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, so he lined up being the principal of Spider-Man: Homecoming school.
And those touches again, this is already in the midst of them building the universe, but like again, you see like they don't spare any detail.
Yeah.
Really don't. Like they hold on to the little details, the little touches, the little nods to things. I like how when Cap came out with the costume, he had the shield, the original shield.
Yeah.
And I guess an homage to the original costume with the wings.
Yeah.
Like the actual physical wings on his head. There was a lot of cool stuff that was thrown in.
Yeah.
Not even halfway in, so yeah.
Yeah, so like the first costume he used was for the play, which was the old Captain America suit with the wings and all. And then he just used the same costume, but he just put army fatigue on it. And that's how he went out. He went out with a helmet and stuff like that. It had one of the girls' helmets.
Yes, he did take her helmet when
he took one of the girls' helmets, and then he just put fatigue on.
Was that officially like his first mission where he jumped out the plane and helped Agent Carter? And that's where he first met.
No, the first one was a platoon nearby that got captured. He went to save them.
Gotcha.
And then they started using him more, and then they started seeing them getting more.
No, that's the one I mean. That's the one where he jumped out of the plane when Howard Stark was flying the plane, and they had that prototype thing for him to get. This was like around, I want to say like the hour point in the movie. This is when he first meets Arnim Zola, and doesn't realize he's a bad guy and lets him walk away.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
And then that's where he has the confrontation, and you get the big reveal. Because he also, another thing I like was that they built up Red Skull before they showed him, because you know him by I assume his real name, but you keep hearing people refer to how strong he is or how good he is. Where they mentioned that he wiped out a platoon of 100. It was like they sent 200 after him and only 50 came back. So they're basically trying to say he's on par because he's was it the prototype or was he just the first?
He was the first. He was the first prototype, and it failed on him because he was already evil as it is. Yeah. So it fucked up his face, and it took his nose. He was so bad it took his nose away.
Jesus, that's great. That's the best explanation for that I've ever heard. All right.
He was so bad awesome. He lost his nose.
Can't have it, man. Can't smell food, man. You're too evil. No. Also, you can't taste if you can't smell, so it's a wrap.
Damn, I'll be evil too if I can't taste nothing.
Dude,
I understand him now.
Food is amazing. But also, again, the continuity. They tell the professor tells you that the serum brings out very, very prominently your greatest strength, and I guess the Skull's greatest strength was just evil.
Yeah.
So
Captain America was being a soldier.
Every aspect of it. I also, what do you think of the chase scene? I actually really like that.
Yeah, I like. One thing that I will say, and this is going to go throughout the Captain America movies, their fight scenes were really good.
Yes, I agree. Choreography is on point.
and they always put like weight into his hits, which I love. Like that, you hear the bass line when he fucking hits, and it's great because you believe the strength that he has in those hits.
And I also like how they make just because he's not God level strong, they managed to make a human being who's that strong, as strong as Cap is, seem very believable.
Yeah,
like you see him jump the fence. And mind you, he's chasing after the spy who blew up the base barefoot, and it turns out that's a Hydra agent.
Yeah.
But there's a long chase, and he's chasing a car on barefoot, like throughout traffic, and you see him jump over a fence completely. He jumps on top of the car, he rides the car, even though the guy's trying to shake him off, dodges the bullets when the guy tries to shoot him. But here's the one thing I thought was cool was the nod to the shield when he took the door.
Yeah.
And that was the picture they used for his photo on the newspaper, which I thought was cool. And then there was a part where the Hydra agent grabbed the little boy.
Man, he threw him in the water. And the kid was like, "Don't worry, I can swim."
Like, I love that part. Also, question mark, did you notice it was just to me, I'm not very familiar with the director, so I can't name him off the top of my head, but did you notice that it looked like it was shot like a Disney movie? Like an older, just like kind of like The Rocketeer.
Well, it was meant to be dated. It was meant to be in the 1942. So when it was shot with age. Like they were trying to make it look old.
No, I don't just mean that. Okay, here's the thing I want to mean. Like the angles for when they presented the villains were like low angles of the villain standing tall and menacingly, like a dominating figure, like just in black. There's like a certain specific thing, like that relates. Like almost one-to-one to like older, like I know what you mean by time, like the time period piece that I get, but it's almost a nod to the way those movies were shot too.
I can see them doing it like that. Like honestly, like you're like kind of pointing that out to me more than anything, and which is making me like the movie even more.
Like that's that's what I like about it so much. It reminded me of Rocketeer.
I think this was the one that a lot of people didn't like a lot. There was like, if you liked it, and you got it. If you didn't, then you did not like this movie. This is one of them that was like that. Like there's a big chance you might not like it, and there's a big chance you will like it. Depends on how you see the movie. And like now you're showing me that, I'm appreciating the movie more because I'm noticing it too. Like especially when Red Skull was in the screen, you saw him like kind of dominating a lot of. He was pretty fucking scary when he was in the screen. Yeah. And then Hugo Weaving was amazing as him. Like I don't think you could get anyone else to play that. Anyone else to play him. I don't think you could play anyone as Red Skull like that anymore.
And that guy, Hugo Weaving, he's a character actor too. Yeah. So he's really good at portraying like something that's more than human. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, cause what is he? Is he the one that's Smeagol? I know he's the elf.
Smeagol was the guy that's playing Claw now.
Okay, so wait.
That was Smeagol. He played in Matrix. He was the villain in Matrix.
He was Smith, right? Okay, so
Agent Smith.
But I know in Lord of the Rings he was the elf.
He was the elf. Yeah. He always plays a douchebag villain.
Yeah.
And he plays it so good,
so well.
So yeah, he always plays a douchebag bag, but I don't think anyone else could touch his Red Skull. I think Red Skull was fucking a great villain. I wish they had a little bit more with him, like action wise, but other than that, I thought he was fucking great.
Yeah, true. But you know what? I kind of like it because I like the initial confrontation between the two is when they fight on the bridge, and it's just. Again, it's those touches where before it gets too serious, like they hit each other, and you each see how strong each one is. Like Red Skull punches the shield and leaves a fist in it, and then Cap hits him in the chest, and he flies backwards, and it's like what? Like he doesn't believe that somebody else has that strength as a regular man. But the cool part was like then you have Skull on the floor getting up, you have Arnim Zola pulling the switch. And the bridge separating the two of them, so it's Cap and Bucky on one side, and then Arnim Zola and Red Skull on the other side, while the factory is exploding in the middle. Like it's just little. It's like if you look at the way they direct the scenes, like it's so cool.
Yeah, they did a really good job with things like that in this movie. Yeah, so again, Red Skull was a good villain, and then the action scenes with Captain America, just how they presented Captain America was probably my favorite way of doing things. They put a lot of bass in his hits, they put a lot of things, and then he just had that heart that you believed in that character.
And Chris Evans pulled it off wonderfully.
Yeah,
could have been hokey. Remember, it's been done before, so it could have been terrible.
Yeah, like Red Skull could have been Italian again too.
It's like, yeah, because the thing about superhero movies that caused people not to give them a chance was the inability, I guess, of the actors to not go so over the top that even their own acting is unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's like, granted, we see you're a person playing another person in an unbelievable situation, but you don't have to be so ridiculous. Not everything had to be Batman 66,
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they took something that was based in an older time period and it's it wasn't hokey.
Yeah, I agree.
It could have been so bad. It really could have. Also, this should have been. No, it wasn't. This is the second appearance of the cube, right?
Yes,
because it was in Thor first.
Well, it was in Thor first, but in timeline-wise, I think they had it first.
Oh, no, I know what you mean. So, timeline, this is the first appearance historically of the Cube, but movie-wise, this is the second movie it was in.
Yes.
Gotcha. And was that supposed to be King Arthur that was holding the fake one?
Probably.
Because I was thinking, what the hell was that?
There's a lot of things into this movie that kind of showed. So I could be wrong with a lot of the things.
I kind of wish they snuck in the scene with Magneto, where Captain America frees the Holocaust survivors, and little Magneto comes out.
Yeah,
that would have been cool. They threw that in there as a little Easter egg. Who's that little white-haired kid? Oh, I know who that is. But no, you can't. They didn't do that. I mean, another thing I want to point out was for the time period, because they explicitly show the date 1943. They figured out the Hydra. They figured out how to use the cube pretty damn quick.
Yep.
So Arnim Zola turned it into a weapon, obviously a weapon to change the tide of the war. And then, you see Skull get the grand idea to change the world. But in the meantime, when they do use it on the soldiers that don't like him, it's kind of crazy how they go from nobody knowing how to use it to them making guns that can evaporate people.
Yeah.
So again, I guess maybe just showing the strength and the intelligence that Hydra has behind them.
Yeah.
So I mean, showing that they are formidable and basically laying the groundwork for what would become one of the cooler things in the MCU history, the Hell Hydra.
Yeah. After this, Hydra becomes a big mainstay. If you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they started going more to a side story with Hydra, and then MCU Phase 2 starts getting more in depth with Hydra.
Yep. Still one of the cooler moments.
Yeah.
At the end of Iron Man 2. With Gary Shandling's character goes Hell Hydra, his bloated character.
Yep.
Oh shoot. R.I.P.
Right. So this this movie's probably one of my favorites, and then you have the end scene with Captain America waking up.
You have oh no, wait. Okay. You do have that, but also we forgot to mention that it starts out with them finding him. And I believe that for sure that's S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Or is that somebody else?
It was S.H.I.E.L.D. that found him.
Okay, S.H.I.E.L.D. that finds him. And they do show that. They show them finding Cap, and then it goes into the backstory, and in the end is him waking up. So that's pretty cool.
And then him waking up in a new city, not knowing, but he's still pretty smart to figure out that, it's a little too much. It kind of good. So imagine you being trapped in time and then waking up in a new place. It'll freak you the fuck out.
Yes, it would.
That's pretty much what happened with him.
Oh yeah, then he knows that Peggy's not young.
Yeah. Oh, Peggy just got old.
But I like their interaction too.
Yeah, I like their interaction. I liked their fun. It was fun. It was very settled because he was also still a really shy guy.
He also, I like how he mentions it. He goes, "You don't know how to talk to women, do you?" He goes, "This is the longest I've ever talked to one." I like I like Chris Evans' humor throughout the movie.
Yeah, and I think
he was. Sorry, I'll let you go after this. My one of my favorite bits was when they actually were going to put him in the machine, and he said something funny like during those moments, and I'm like, damn, even when he's about to go through what is excruciating pain, he still has the levity to not go all dark during the situation.
And I think that was the big reason why he was picked.
Sure enough.
Yeah,
like
he was.
If you could smile in the face of adversity, that's a useful trait.
Yeah. Because he still.
Oh, go ahead.
He still joked, especially even when he came out, he joked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true enough. He said, "How do you feel? Taller?" Shit. Yeah. But I was gonna say, I just think it's funny how that him being well, I guess maybe it's Chris Evans, but maybe it's Cap. How they really kept his character throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
They didn't feel a need to change it up. They really found a good balance of humor and that. There's a few parts in the movie where you see him, the character of Steve Rogers, take lead from people who are well beyond his years, and it's like that's kind of cool. In these situations, he does that.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the only thing that changes is he just becomes more badass throughout the movie. Yeah,
I mean, I was gonna tell you too. Also, one of my favorite images was when they thought he was dead and he came back. He came back all badass with Bucky next to him, and then the Howling Commandos behind him.
Yes,
that was pretty cool. That was also
there was
a
dudes
lot riding on a truck. That was.
Yeah, there was a lot of great scenes, a lot of good action. Definitely watch this one. This one was probably one of my favorites of Phase 1.
Of Phase 1, it's my favorite, and it's still top 2 for me.
No.
I mean, I'm still guilty of not having seen Homecoming, so I have to see that to judge.
Yeah.
But
Homecoming was really good. So now you have something to look forward to notice. Yes. And you do watch Homecoming. We'll get to Homecoming eventually. That'll be around March, I guess.
Okay.
Because it'll be in probably April. Because it's one of the last ones.
It's what, third or fourth from last? Third from last, right? Because it's Spider-Man, then Guardians, and then what?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange was after Guardians, or was it before?
It was after Guardians.
2.
Huh?
2.
Yeah.
Guardians 2 came out.
It was before Guardians 2.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Well, Doctor Strange is Phase 3. This is all Phase 3 now.
Okay. This is all active. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yep, all right. Yep. So Captain America, watch it.
Yes. Awesome movie. If you like the classical style, a classic war, maybe that was a genre. Because I know I wasn't around, but I believe that when World War II was, fairly recent from having been over, I'm sure there were a lot of war movies.
Yeah.
So I can imagine there's a certain style that this fits into. And I guess, it's a period piece.
Yes, it is.
Set your expectations for a period piece, and you'll be more than pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Then Wonder Woman kind of copied it as well.
But okay, would you say it? Because I know you've seen both. Would you say it was more of a copy, or was it really its own thing? Or
it fit with Wonder Woman just because that is her story as well. So they have very similar stories in that sense.
Were they able to tell a distinct story?
Yeah, but it was a lot like Captain America.
Okay. Because here's my test: was if you close your eyes and thought about it, would you think of a scene from Wonder Woman and then maybe accidentally, oh, that's a Captain America scene, something like that?
No, they did a good job of making it separate.
Okay, all right. Okay, cool. All right. So we have that glowing review for Captain America.
Yes. Captain America: The First Avenger. That's the full.
Oh, and the stinger at the end. Nick Fury comes and gives him a little talk. He's asking him, does he feel? He says a specific thing, you feel uneasy. I think he's like, yeah. And he's like, "You want me to join?" He's like, "Yeah, we're trying to save the world." And then it quickly, I didn't like that stinger because it quickly went into the very generic Avengers trailer.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing I didn't like.
Okay.
Other than that,
It was good.
set to come well.
So this was the last one. Next movie up for next week is
The
the
Avengers.
big one, the Avengers Part 1.
Captain America and the Avengers.
Oh man, I played that on the SNES and it was pretty bad.
It didn't age well. The arcade one is way better.
Yes, it is. I remember playing that a lot. I was actually recently listening to this podcast and they were talking about the Sega Spider-Man one, the arcade with Namor, Hawkeye, and Black Cat.
Fun.
Yes,
That was fun.
that was a good one.
What I was gonna say was I wanted to move into Monster Hunter, but did you have something else to say?
No, other than that, yeah, Monster Hunter.
Okay.
So Monster Hunter first,
The
Yes,
first
40
few days.
first 3 days.
My personal take on it, it's probably the best version of the game. If I had to give a nod to any other Monster Hunter that I think is very, very good, I would say is probably 3 on the GameCube when it first came out.
Yeah.
For being the one that changed everything, adding the verticality and the underwater stuff. I mean, yeah, it didn't work 100% great, but they tried. And so this time they knocked it out of the park. They got everything working, and yeah, I'm happy it's finally here. It took so long. Do you know how long I was waiting for that Nintendo deal to be over, man? Dude, seriously.
Like Nintendo, stop your shit.
Oh, they stopped the growth, but apparently they were holding on to everything they learned. If you've played Generations, it should feel a little comfortable. I mean, other than the fact that you have 2 more buttons and a working stick, a working right stick.
Yeah. You don't have to buy an extra piece.
Oh, Lord, or use that bad one on that 3DS XL. No bueno. But what they did do was take the best elements of, I feel, Generations and maybe Double Cross, because there's a few things from that I can see that they put onto some of the weapons.
Yeah.
Like they streamlined guns, they redid the controls for guns. I mean, because it's been a very long time since they've had a stick.
Yeah.
And there have been tons of innovations since the last time Monster Hunter was on a console. So I guess it might be a little jarring if you're a fan and you got used to the way the guns handle. But like, if you've played any other third-person shooter in the past 5 years, it should be super comfortable. What else? Early game is fun. I don't recommend rushing. I mean, I know that there's a lot of streamers, there's a lot of content creators putting out, tons of in-game stuff and spoiling all that stuff. Well, I guess we live in an age where you can't really spoil anything anymore. People should say it, but like, when the next day the last boss is up on YouTube, it's just that type of world.
Yeah.
So yeah,
People cannot enjoy a game. Like, sit down and just enjoy the adventures that you're gonna have.
Yeah.
Nope.
My recommendation for this is to not try to get to the end game and hang out with the big boys. It's to experience everything that the game is trying to give you. Because when you do that, when you race a Monster Hunter to the end, it tends to feel empty. Because, it just becomes another loot grinding game.
Yeah.
At that point. Because you basically did all the story stuff or all the offline content that usually has flavor text, from the old games. But this was before they put the voice acting and the full motion cutscenes and stuff in the story. Because I don't know how old is the series, but probably since, I think it's 2004, I want to guess. So that's a long time. That's like, what, 18? No, yeah. 14 years. So that's a give or take 2 or 3, about 14 years of the same formula. And this is now them finally evolving. And it looks like it's super popular. It looks like a lot of people who never played it before have good things to say. And I'm happy to hear it. And I recommend anybody who hasn't gotten it, go get it.
Yes, I will get mine soon.
Yes. Oh, also, there's a new meme, unfortunate, but this is because of reviewers. And they've said this is Jurassic Park meets Dark Souls, and this is just, it has to stop. Because these are 30-something-year-old men, you know, in the same ballpark as us, who pretend that the only difficult game came out in 2006. This is why I cringed every time I heard Cuphead mentioned about in the same breath as Dark Souls. It that hurts me on a different level, because it's like, how do these people have so many followers and have so much clout, but their scope of thinking is so limited? That bugs me out, because people are drawing from things that are way older. Castlevania for like NES was hard, but you'll never hear anybody say, well, this is like Castlevania meets, and you'll look at the game and you'll see elements more closely associated to a game like Castlevania. I'm not talking about Monster Hunter. I'm just talking about when it comes to reviewers mentioning things related to Dark Souls. You'll see more similarities with game B, but for some reason, because they're so limited in scope, they can't help but keep comparing it to the most popular game.
Yeah.
And that's very limiting when it comes to describing something. We have to get away from doing that. And I wish people who had influence would stop that too, because it's very reductive.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks. This is not a Dark Souls game. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. When you die, you die. There's no, you lost your money, you lost your like, no, come on. You gotta stop that. You gotta stop that. So,
if I like, say for instance, you're saying Cuphead, if I had to describe a game that played like Cuphead, it would be Mega Man.
Yeah, and that wasn't the first thing. It makes me like sad. Like, what? So you mean to tell me 30-year-old man who supposedly loves video games and reviews it as a passion, your only comparison for Cuphead, which is a shooter or a platformer, is a game about swords and souls, magic?
And there was a lot of hard games. Yeah, and there's a lot of hard games in the world, especially on the old consoles.
It makes me laugh.
You know what game that was the hardest game ever? And it sucked, but it was the hardest game ever.
Ninja Turtles for Nintendo?
That one and Spider-Man and the X-Men.
Woo! I beat that. That's one of my proudest achievements. I beat that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, it was bad. It was bad too. It was a LJN game, and I don't know if you know the angry video game Legacy.
Yeah.
But I played a lot of those LJN games, and they were all bad. And they had the license to the stuff I liked the most: wrestling and X-Men, and apparently Spider-Man, but only for one game.
Yeah.
Ooh, what else was bad? The only reason I beat that game was because it was a birthday present. That's it. I was like, I got this for a birthday. I have to beat it, and I did. Terrible. Anyway, Merc, so tell us about DBFZ.
DBFZ, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. So I picked it up. So far, the story right now is it reminds me, honestly, the game I had to say that it reminds me of. If you ever played Ninja Turtles 2 Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter for the Sega Genesis, not the Super NES.
Yes, I did.
Sega Genesis. It was just Shredder made clones of all the turtles, and they were all black and white clones, and every single person had a clone of them.
Okay, I remember that.
That's Dragon Ball Z. Because everyone has a clone. Everyone has a dark black suit clone, and then you have to you go through the stages, you fight some bosses, and you gotta gang them back. So you'll fight them. They'll be like, they'll give you different categories when you pick a thing to go to.
Okay.
And it'll be like save a character. So you'll save like Krillin, you'll save Yamcha and something like that.
What about Master Roshi?
He's not in the game.
Why?
There's some of those like obscured characters that people love are not in the game. Like Hercule is not in the game.
I cannot believe it.
I'm hoping he's DLC because a lot of people are complaining that he's not in the game.
Okay, here's my case for being upset. They literally have the stage where he's like presented.
Yeah.
The fighting arena where the Cell games. Come on, like he's like one of the main characters, which is hilarious. But like he's not there, so boo. But Boo is in the game. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. Did you? I'm assuming you're still going through it, so you're not done with the story, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen the new character, the android? Was it 21? Majin Buu, Majin Android 21, I think it is.
Well, I haven't seen her yet. I'm far from that right now. The one I've seen her already. Like she just got introduced.
Mm-hmm.
And her being introduced, she pretty much is just there. You save her because she saves Android. Android 12 is the girl, or
16 and 17. I believe
16,
she's 16.
Yeah, I don't know Dragon Ball that much, so I'm gonna butcher a lot of things.
Oh my god, yeah.
So you save her, and then that's pretty much where I left it off on chapter 1. So I just saved her.
Okay. So that is she a good guy? No, so 17. 17 is the girl.
Right now,
18. Oh,
right
Jesus,
now
it's been a while.
Right now she's the good girl.
Okay.
But she I guess she goes heel later on. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, she looks evil as shit.
Yeah, she got big boobs.
Oh, you know what? In her initial art, she looks kind of like Brawly if Brawly was a chick and a Majin.
Yeah,
that's what she reminds me of.
But there's I've been reading a lot of things about it, and a lot of people are mad that like Bulma is not a fighting character in the game. There's a lot of like the sure characters that are not in the game that you can't use. But there's a lot of DLC coming out for it that I've been reading, so I was like, just be patient.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Bulma in the mech.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see like throwback Dragon Ball characters or skins.
Yeah.
Would not be surprised. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see on Gohan like a young Gohan skin.
I want a Super. Oh well, there's a young Gohan, and then I want a Super Saiyan man.
Oh no, I mean the Padawan Gohan.
Oh,
remember the one where remember the one where he only had one move?
Okay.
Before he started training with Piccolo, the one where he only headbutts you and that's it, because that's all he knew how to do.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that.
There's
not a lot of things. Yeah, I want a Super Saiyan man. That's one thing I will want in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a lot of things like that. They kind of lacking in that situation. But the fight system is pretty good. It's pretty simple to get into. Once you learn combos, it makes it good. But damn, you gotta like really time your blocks. You gotta really time a lot of things. If not, you're fucked. Because there's no way to get out of certain things, and you just dangling like a little ball.
Yeah, you have to, because it's an arc system game. It doesn't work like most. I don't know if this is a specific genre, because it's not a Marvel game. It's not. I don't really think you could say there's really a game like this. It's just comparable to Marvel because of the button layout. But because it's an arc system game and they're known for extremely fast-paced fighting games and very technical, it's interesting to see the mix of the two here. Because you say it's easy to get into, which is like a new thing for them, where you can easily get into, because they have the auto combos and they have if you want to learn, you can do more. So it's presented better than Street Fighter, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But also, like you just said, now it's to a point when you fight against better, higher skilled people, that there are things where it's like you have to be super on point.
Yeah. Like
more so than other games. So.
Oh God, yeah. You need to be like.
I imagine, God forbid, there's any lag, so that would suck.
You know what? Online wise, so far I have not dealt with that. I haven't got the only thing I dealt with was it taking a long time to get a game.
Okay.
Other than that,
the servers were stable? Were you getting booted off or anything? Because
actually I have, because this game is not. You have to be online to play the game.
Okay.
You have to be online because you have to be in a room in order to play.
Oh,
because once you
okay.
No, everything. You had to be in a room to play the game. So the story mode, the arcade mode, they're all in that room. And then you could get kicked out that room, and then you got to join a new room to keep playing those things.
Okay, understood. Gotcha.
Yeah. So you have to be online. You have to have a good internet connection in order to maintain that.
Is that something that you think they put out there, like a message,
No,
like that people should right off the bat know?
I feel like they didn't tell no one about that. I feel like that I learned that when I fucking turned on the game, and I was like, really? Like like you'll think like they're like, especially because it's a fighter like, and it has local play, that you'll be able to do certain things offline. But no, you have to do everything online.
Okay, understood. All right.
Yeah.
But overall, how's the package? Do you?
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so far. I wish there was a little bit more, I guess. Especially with the arcade mode and having a story mode. Well, having like endings for characters. It's that's what I will say. But for the most part, it's not bad.
Okay. Would you recommend it over Injustice or no? Is Injustice still your king? Your king of the recent
right now,
games?
Injustice is still the best fighting game that I have. I think just for like all around package of what it gives you. I think there's so much Injustice that no game has touched that yet.
All right. Okay.
But it did a good job. It's a new style of fighting. If you like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I'll say this will be your take to get it. Then I like it more than Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's hard not to if you don't like the hardcore fighting scene. It's hard to like Marvel Infinite more than anything, because that game's presentation is awful. Yes. So
I will say that it's like that's something that if you like Marvel vs. Capcom kind of style, like the older Marvel vs. Capcom, then you may like this game.
Okay. Also, there was a little Easter egg. I don't know if it's an Easter egg, but Kotaku put up an article showing that if you played on PC on the lowest specs, the artwork sort of devolves into an older looking 2-bit, not 2-bit, 8-bit, almost 8-bit style, maybe like cool. 1632 maybe. Yeah, where the sprites look good. I guess because they are actually some of the artwork is actually 2D. Yeah, I know that the entire thing is that Arc has the tech where they make the 3D models look 2D because the way they draw on them. So what most people don't really know is that Guilty Gear looks like a 2D fighter. It's really 3D. The backgrounds are all rendered. The characters are actually models and everything. And I believe Dragon Ball is the same thing, but I believe that some of the action is actually is 2D. So it looks kind of cool. You should check it out. I think there's videos of it. I think it was Frieza fighting. What's that purple guy with that looks like Anubis? He's got blue genie pants on.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know his name.
No, Beerus. There he is. Beerus. God of Destruction. Excuse me. I'm sorry if I offended you fans.
Yeah, I will offend all y'all because I don't know half these people's names. I know the basic names.
Beerus fanboys.
I know the basic names. Yeah. I know Gohan. I know Goku.
I'm just happy that Yamcha's in the game and he has his famous death scene, but that he's also a good character. So that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, the Yamcha's, and he's actually pretty fun to play with. Like I played with him for a little bit. He's pretty fun. I like Krillin.
Okay.
Krillin's pretty decent right now. Like my 3 team is Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks. Mm-hmm. I like those 3. I started playing with that cat dude or rabbit dude. Rabbit.
Oh no, you're talking about Beerus, right? He's purple. Yeah, that's the guy I was talking about.
I've been trying him out. I've been playing with him. I played with Nappa. He was pretty decent. He's pretty fun. He's a pretty fun character. If you like Zangief kind of style character, he's the powerhouse of the game. There's this one guy that he'll like take your body and you control the character you're fighting.
Oh, Captain Ginyu.
Yeah, and then he makes you play as him. So if you don't like him, then you can fuck the person over.
Yeah, that's another thing. That character is super unique for a fighting game. Because what he does is he gives you control of himself without his team. Yeah. So that makes him a way worse character. So that's pretty funny. I'd love to see some of that like in tournament play. Just what do you do when you get Ginyu'd? Okay, so positive review here. There's a
It,
little
it
bit
was
lacking, but
yeah, a little bit lacking, but it's still a fun game. Do I regret buying it? No, I'm actually
no.
having fun
Okay.
with it. So
Okay.
that's where I'll put it. Like I don't regret buying it, so I'm happy with it.
Would you classify yourself as an anime fan or no?
I'm a casual anime fan.
So
I'll watch
okay.
it here and there.
So my next question is the voice acting bad?
No,
Okay. Okay. All right.
like I know what Dragon Ball Z's voice acting is. I've
Mhm.
seen most Dragon Ball Z have watched is in Japanese. So I went from the kid them sounding like kids to actually sounding somewhat more of adult.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh yeah.
So I've seen all that. So I like the voice acting. I think the voice acting fits well. I like the presentation of the characters and everything like that. Story mode could be better. I wish it was more in depth and more just more like it's more of I don't know. I just wish there was more story to it than just the conversations. Which some of the conversations are really funny. Don't get me
Okay.
wrong. Like when you get Yamcha and Krillin, they
Mhm.
had really fucked up story. Like Krillin fucks with him the whole time.
Okay.
Like you remember when you were actually good, but now I could kick your ass.
Oh wow.
He kind of has that. He kind of says shit like that. And they're like, yo, that's fucked up.
I think it's because the shoes on the other foot because they used to
Yeah.
make fun of Krillin.
Yeah.
So,
So they also did what was it? Because Goku wanted him to fight with him to spar with him. He's like, oh, you can spar with me. He's like, no, you know you could beat me. And Krillin's like, oh, but you don't have kids, you don't have a wife, so you should be able to fight him. They're like, yo, that's fucked up.
that's messed up. Damn. Nobody's gonna miss you, Yamcha.
Like, yo, like they don't love you, Jan. Like no love for him. I was like, damn. Like, is he? I was like, yo, is he really that like a joke of a character in these games now? Like that's fucked up.
It's basically like that's why people like him so much because he's a cool character. He looks like the cooler Goku,
Yeah,
but he's such a pansy.
yeah.
And
Because
in the original Dragon Ball, he was actually cooler in the original Dragon Ball.
he was a badass.
Yeah.
I remember that because I actually watched I watched the original Dragon Ball and I actually liked that one more than Dragon Ball Z.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
I do like that one more. So I've seen that one. I've seen what they did with that one. I know of Yamcha and like that. So I watched most of that whole series. But yeah, I remember him being kind of a badass character, and then now he's just a joke. And I was like, oh, poor guy.
Poor Yamcha.
No love for Yamcha whatsoever.
Womp womp. But I mean, at least he's making a good game.
So that shit had me rolling. When they said that shit, I was like, yo, that's fucked up. Like, so what if you don't have a kid? He don't want to fight his ass. Goku's strong.
Would
I
you
ain't
fight
fucking
Goku?
No, I'm like, fuck you. You fight him. You found him first. You fight him. I need time to rest.
Also, no, he knows it because Master Roshi taught all of them. I believe he taught them the Kamehameha. So I assume if you're in that universe, you would know how to do that.
Yeah, he does it. He actually does it as a finisher.
Okay, yeah. So you would know how to do that. Yeah. All right.
I still won't fight him.
No.
I was like, I'll get some ramen. We have food eating content.
Yeah, exactly.
We can eat. Don't fuck with me. I was like, yo, but that shit, those little like innuendos with the characters are pretty funny. It does look like the anime, they do a really good thing with the 3D. Well, kind of a 3D because it's a 2D fighter, but it has a 3D, like it's all around and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But to see in this kind of view is pretty dope.
Cool. All right. That's cool. Before we wrap it up, let me ask: did you see the Soul Calibur 6 trailer?
Yes, I did, and I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and then Maximilian on YouTube put up I guess Namco Bandai invited him to go take some footage.
Yeah.
So he did a little more of an in-depth thing where he went and actually played the game. So he had some notes to give out. Firstly, he said it feels like Soul Calibur 2, which is a good thing.
Oh yes, because that was
arguably
my favorite one.
Arguably the best playing one. Like that's a lot of people's favorite. Yes.
Actually, part 1 is my favorite.
Okay. I can see that. I like one a lot.
Part 1
Like one a lot.
Dreamcast.
Oh, okay. All right. But like that's a lot of people's favorite Soul Calibur. But like competitively also it was a lot of people's favorite to watch. And it was also pretty broken. So I'm interested to know how they fix some of the broken stuff from that game. But he said it feels like 2, which is a plus. He said the visuals are very, very good. Oh, which you can see that. You can see it's like the super stylized. Like they're not very I don't know yet because this game is still early.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because if you compare it to Tekken still looks way better. But you can see in Soul Calibur 6 that they have the style down already.
Yeah.
They have the flourishes, they have the hit sparks, they have the environments. Like the stage with the two giant statues in the background, that's fucking cool.
Yes.
Like the amount of detail they put in there, because these are all stages that we grew up with because they were in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And finally, see them get their just. It's kind of like Monster Hunter for me.
Yeah.
If you played the games and then you saw it go to handhelds and you sitting there thinking, oh man, one day this is gonna look real good.
I think that's everyone's fucking take on Pokemon now.
I was so disappointed after Stadium.
Yeah.
Because I liked Stadium and they stopped going in that direction.
But in Pokemon, I think they're gonna do a full game on the Switch.
I apologize. I don't mean Stadium. I mean Coliseum.
Yeah.
But anyway. So it'll be a matter of time. I'm sure it'll be there. That's gonna print money.
Yeah.
That.
Yep.
But back to Soul Calibur 6, what's been revealed is you can see under Nightmare's armor because they brought back the breaking armor system from 4 and 5. And when Nightmare's armor breaks off, you can see the like one of the original nods that they put in was to the Soul Calibur, I believe Soul Calibur 1 version of Nightmare, where when you select the alternate costume, he's Siegfried, but he's got the eye on his chest where his nipple would be, and the eye moves around, which is creepy as fuck. But
that's fucked up. The eye took over his nipple,
and that was on the whole game. Yeah, that was the alternate costume. Yeah.
Should have hurt.
I see you. So
that should really hurt.
Nobody said it was easy when you wield the Soul Edge. The Soul Calibur might do nice things, but when you wield the Soul Edge, you get all that power, but you gotta lose something in return, right?
Yo, I feel that nipple break every time.
Oh God, the eye. You're not gonna get stabbed in the eye, and that's on your chest. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Ow.
No wonder Nightmare is always angry.
Yeah, I'll be angry too, shit.
But like, the game looks like it's shaping up great because it's throwing in nods to the old games. It's not leaving the old formula. Kind of like it's less of a departure than 5 was, because 5 had like ridiculous conditions in order for you to do the super. No, It was 4 that had that ridiculous thing. My bad. 4 was the one where you had to break armor to be able to like defeat your enemy with the super.
Yeah.
And then 5 had it, but it was kind of like, it's not very intuitive to have people trying to do Hadouken motions in a 3D fighter where movement is so key.
Yeah.
Where if you press down, forward, you might actually do an 8-way run in that game. So, I'm glad to see they went with the Tekken 7/Tekken 6 way of doing it. No, it's been since Tag 2, the Rage Art, where when you get down to dying, that's when you get the buff.
Yeah.
And then 7 is the one that, you press a button when you're dying and you do the super.
Yeah.
So they've taken that. They've taken a lot of cues from 7. Apparently there's a small thing that happens when you do a certain strike that it produces like a really either red or bluish glow, I guess, depending on if your character's good or evil. And what it does is it turns the fight into, for a split second, that slow-mo thing that happens at the end of a match in Tekken.
Yeah.
So at any point during the match, I believe you can initiate that attack, and if the person decides to clash back with you, that's when you initiate it. So it won't become this thing that people spam over and over again because it's easily avoidable.
Okay.
And high level people will be able to parry it. So that means it's a mechanic that's high risk, high reward, I guess.
Okay.
So it's cool to see that they're trying to like innovate with things and not just scrap everything, keep the names and faces and be like, okay, here's a brand new one. And then you play it and it's like, this doesn't feel like Soul Calibur. Okay. This feels like another weapon fighter. So I'm glad to hear this feels like a Soul Calibur game.
Yeah, I'm digging the way it looks. I dug that new character they showed with the two blades. He kind of reminded me of Starkiller.
Yeah,
the way he fought.
Yeah, it's like they kept a lot of stuff because he does jump high. He does like a lot of super fantastical moves and stuff.
And he has then he has the two blades.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So they mixed like Khalik and him together.
Mm-hmm. And he looks like a Tails character, which was what I was saying before. Like he really looks like a Tails character. I wouldn't be surprised if he was drawn by like the lead artist for that game, because that's one thing that Namco, more than a lot of other companies, does is throughout their universe of games, they will use their artists from other series to come in and make costumes. Like Tekken, for the longest time, will have a costume from the Tails series.
Yeah,
which is cool. So. It looks like it's shaping up to be a very good game. I believe it's out maybe before the end of this year, which that's cool. Hopefully not before Evo. Please let this game be fixed and finished. Full content, please.
Yeah, they didn't mention it being this year, but I could see it like maybe late this year, early next year.
Yeah, like I think it might be 2018, 2019, maybe first quarter next year. But if it comes out this year, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because there's very little fighting games actually this year.
Yeah, announced for none that I know of. Besides that, like I haven't heard anything about Killer Instinct. I haven't heard Street Fighter just came out with Arcade Edition, so
yeah, I know Killer Instinct is gonna have a season 4. They haven't said anything about it though.
Okay. There hasn't been a new Guilty Gear because we got Fighters, so it's like after those two fighting games, that's it.
Yeah, so be interesting what they do.
Yeah, so that's cool. But with that said, I'm gonna wrap it up for this episode of the It Gets Better I Swear podcast. You can catch us at Twitter at RedCycloneInc. On YouTube, you can listen to this on YouTube and on SoundCloud. So you got YouTube, that's RedCycloneInc, and you can listen to it on our SoundCloud and Merc's SoundCloud. So that's RedCycloneInc on SoundCloud, also Merc with the Mic. Merc, tell them about your YouTube channel.
Yeah, Merc with the Mic YouTube. We're doing a couple games right now. I'm doing Skyrim, and I did the Dragon Ball Z Fighters, the first part.
That looks fun. I've been keeping up with the Skyrim.
Yeah, so I'm doing the Thieves Guild. So I'm doing the missions to the Thieves Guild, and then I should be doing. Oh, we did a 2-player Turtles in Time playthrough this other day. We just put up a new SoundCloud of the Power Ranger cast. We're probably going to try to do monthly. The next one will be Ninja Storm. The last one was Wild Force.
All right, cool.
Yeah, check out our Facebook. RedCycloneInc and the Wrestling Babble. Wrestling Babble's closing in on 250 people.
That's awesome. Great to hear.
So it's been going good. Been getting more and more followers every fucking day. So it's been really good. People like that we don't spoil shit on our thing. I think that's what people appreciate.
Awesome. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, because I don't do spoilers the night of. I do it like the next day. I give people a chance to watch.
Yes.
So that's the way it should be.
Okay. All right. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Like I said, check out Monster Hunter. Check out Dragon Ball Fighter Z. And
check out Captain America.
Captain America, the first Avenger.
Next week we'll be covering Avengers.
Yes.
And
I've only seen that movie once.
Okay, so that's gonna be a good. You haven't seen it since the first time you saw it?
I saw it in the theaters once, and that was it.
All right, so that will actually be like watching it again, like brand new.
Yeah.
So that's good. I think it's on. No,
it's on everything, right?
No, it's not.
Really?
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Like Captain America actually caught on FX.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
That's it.
Peace out.